Mighty 1630 KCJJ. Tommy Lang with you. Hey, Lang. Tom Petty. Waiting for Kylene. I was trying to call her, and I got a voicemail. So hopefully she will call us back very shortly. I'll try again here in a little bit. Because we do want to talk to her. Kylene, of course, is... Oh, look at that. She is the Golden Girl for the University of Iowa marching band, and she did a twirling competition over the weekend and did very well. So I said, hey, let's get her on the show. So hopefully we can hear back from her here in a few moments. By the way, I just got a notification. If you noticed that I sounded somewhat distracted there about a minute ago, the Late Late Show has just put last night's episode up on Facebook Watch, so you can watch it yourself. You can also go to the YouTube page for the Late Late Show. If you missed it, I actually had a segment on there during Emoji News. I didn't know it was going to be on. I was watching it. I almost went to bed, but I like Mila Kunis. I like Christian Slater. I said, okay, I'll stay up watching. And Emoji News is a fun segment where basically they put a bunch of emojis together and audience members have to guess what the news story is. And the first one was a lady who bit another lady's nose off during a fight and swallowed it. And I'm watching that thinking, oh, I've written a story like that for KCJJ. It was two guys at Town and Campus, and one guy hit the other guy in the head with a shovel before the other guy bit his nose off. And we either swallowed it or the dog swallowed it. They weren't sure. So as I'm watching this and processing the fact that I've done a similar story, the next guy comes up. And he gets Emoji News. And I read it right away and I say, oh, well, that's a guy, the way it was set up, that's a guy who, saw his own reflection and punched the mirror and thought it was another guy. I wrote a story like that too. Then it turned out to be my story. They said it was a guy in Iowa. This happened to Bo James, by the way, about a month and a half ago. And guy saw his own reflection in the window and punched it thinking it was a different guy. And they not only mentioned the story, they put up the KCJJ logo and my version of the story on the screen. So that was my fleeting fame last night. My news story featured on the Late Late Show. So you can watch that right now on Facebook Watch and look for that specific segment on YouTube. Right now we go to the phone. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Kylene?
Yes, this is.
Oh, well, thanks for getting back to me. I appreciate it. I was worried there. I wasn't going to talk to you.
It's okay, Tommy. I was having some issues with my dog at home. We just got a puppy this summer, and he's crazy.
Oh, puppies, no. Puppies are nuts. No.
Yes, they are.
Good decision. Good decision. For those who are just joining us, this is Kylene. She's the Golden Girl
Hi,
for the...
everyone.
Hello. She's the Golden Girl for the Hawkeye football team, the marching band. You see her at halftime. We've had her on a couple times. And I want to have you on again, not only because we're getting close to football season, but you were just in a very big competition last weekend, right?
Yes, I was.
Now, tell me a little bit about it. What was it? And there were different categories, and you did pretty well, right?
Yes, I did. So it's our NBTA Baton Twirling Nationals. So everybody around the country that's in our baton twirling organization has this nationals, and it lasts a week, and it's at Notre Dame University in Indiana. And, there's different categories. There's soloist categories. You compete beginners through intermediate and advanced, different age groups. There's team groups. There's also collegiate nights, and it was my first year competing in the college portion of the competition.
So now, is this the first time you've competed in this particular competition? I know you've done others.
Yes, so I have done others, other competitions and like pageants at our nationals, but it was my first year doing like the collegiate pageant and the collegiate night. So that was really exciting. I placed really well. Just kind of had so much fun with it, more fun than I've had in past years, and I think that was because of the collegiate experience that I got to have. Yeah,
you now have a year of college under your belt, so you're a little more comfortable with stuff like this. So
right.
Now, how did you do? There are different categories, and you're scored in each category, and overall you did really well, right?
Yes, I did. So in the collegiate pageant portion, there are 3 different categories, and I actually placed second in one, and I won the solo part of it, which is probably, I'd like to think, one of the most difficult parts. You have to do 2.5 minutes of your hardest routine, 1, 2, 3, and 4 baton, and that was the part I took first in, so that was really exciting for me. And then I ended up taking third overall, so I was very excited about it.
This is cool because if people are longtime listeners remember, I was one of the judges for when you were initially brought in as the Golden Girl. There were a bunch of high school kids who came in, and you just blew us away. You were, I'm like, she's really good at this, so it's good to see you doing well at a national competition like this.
Yeah, well, thank you. It was very exciting. Again, I never had the opportunity to compete as a collegiate soloist before because I wasn't in college quite yet, and so it was really exciting just to be a part of that experience, but then also placed really well too.
So now, are you going back next year to try and improve from second?
Yes, that is the goal. I would like to win it. I didn't really have a lot of expectations this year. In fact, all the other girls that made the top 5 are all going to be seniors in college. So I just didn't really have a lot of expectations just because I only just finished up my freshman year. But hopefully next year I'll be able to go back and maybe pull out a win. That's the goal.
Cool. So now, have you been practicing for the marching band for this coming year yet, or has that started yet?
That has not started yet, but I leave on August 11th because band camp starts on the 12th.
So does this affect you having a new, you had Kevin Castens, great guy.
Yep.
He was just in the building the other day.
Yeah.
And now you've got Dr. Eric Bush, who we had on the show
Yes.
a couple of days ago. Do you have to learn new things? I mean, do you kind of do your own thing with your routines with a halftime show, or do you try and sync them up with what the band's doing? I guess I don't know how that works.
Yeah. So I do, technically work on my own. I don't have someone that specifically works with me, but I do try to make my routines match up with the band music. I like to have my routines kind of flow with whatever the music is and kind of have it match what the band is doing. And that's what the drum major does, too, actually. We just try to sync our routines, like you said, up with what the band is doing. Dr. Bush, I don't think will have too much of a say in that because, to be completely honest, I'm kind of the only one in the band that knows about baton twirling and how it works a little bit to the, most of my ability. So I don't think he'll have too much of a say in that, but if he definitely wants to change something throughout the year, I'm all ears for it.
Now I got to ask you this, because I remember a couple of years ago, I just for the heck of it sat in on one of the band practices, and Whitney, the previous Golden Girl, was there kind of practicing in a corner on her own, and there were a couple of high school kids who were sort of there with her, and I think they were going to try out to be the new Golden Girl. Were you one of those? Because I know you know Whitney from way back.
Yeah, to be honest, I probably was. I did come down for a practice. I think it was the year that her final year, her 5th year.
Yeah.
I did come down for practice, and it was in October. I probably was one of them, to be honest. Oh, that's funny. I didn't know you were there.
Yes, I was. I was. Here's the true story behind that. I was going to go to the Iowa field hockey game that was going on, and all of a sudden, as I was parking, I saw the shine off of the sousaphones. I said, "Oh wow, the marching band is practicing." I bet Kevin's over there. I'll go say hi to Kevin. So I kind of walked in on the practice and went up on the big tower that he's on and kind of watched practice for like an hour or so. And I remember seeing Whitney, because just as us talking about how you practice with the band, she was kind of off on her own doing her own thing, twirling and practicing twirling in a corner. And there were a couple of other high school kids who were girls who were twirling batons. And so now that I'm thinking about it, you might have been one of those two girls.
I probably was.
Yeah, I think you were. Because you're right, it was October. It was kind of a crisp day.
Yeah, it was a really nice day, and I just remember that was like the first band practice I had gone to see what she did. And you're right, she does I do practice on my own while the band is kind of rehearsing steps. They're just going over different motions that they make, different formations, and the sound. And then towards the end of it, Whitney would join the band and then try to do her whole routine, and that's what I do too. That's how we practice.
You just emulated her. I want to be like you. And now she's back in Wisconsin, I believe. She just moved there or is moving there, yeah.
Yeah, she's helping out. Actually, how I know Whitney is that we're from the same baton twirling studio, and she's one of the newest head teachers there, so she'll be taking over a lot of things from her mom, who is actually my coach. So that's our connection there. We were actually in the same team together. We've competed at nationals before. She was at nationals this past year to help me, compete as a soloist and then also watch our team, but she's definitely going to take over a big role there from her mom.
So are you back in Iowa City now? Because I know everybody moves back in August 1st. That's the big move-in date.
Right. I'm actually not back in Iowa City quite yet. I just got back from Indiana a couple days ago, and I have a couple weeks left of working here in Wisconsin before I head back. But I can't wait to be back in Iowa City. My first year was really just unforgettable, and I can't wait for a wonderful second year.
Since you just finished your first year of college, I guess I should ask, was there anything that you didn't expect that you kind of go into college expecting certain things or thinking it's going to be like this? I mean, was there anything that really surprised you or took you by surprise in your first year, whether it relates to actually just being a student or in your Golden Girl persona?
Yeah, to be honest, there were quite a few things I didn't expect. I didn't really have any expectations, I guess. I should put that out there just because, obviously you only go off to college once. Never been off to college before, so I really had no clue. I was one of the first people in my family actually to go off to a Big Ten university, so that was really exciting for me. But yeah, I guess I didn't expect to formulate as many relationships as I did, as many close relationships, and get to know so many people on a close level. I thought that being from a part of a Big Ten university, you don't get to know as many people, or you maybe don't get to meet as many people. But honestly, every day that I walked to class, there was always a couple people that I knew that I would say hi to just when you're walking past real quick, or the people in my classes I got to know really well, even some in the big 200-person lecture that you would sit in. You get to know those people really well. And especially with the band, I kind of made it my goal to try to get to know as many people as possible, and I'm pretty sure I got to know almost every person in the band.
Oh, that's nice.
That was an awesome feat for me.
Because I think some people from the outside would think, oh, she doesn't talk to the band people. She's probably aloof, and no, that's clearly not the case with you. You're friends with the band. You're just one of the guys and one of the gals, whatever.
Right. Well, and I like to explain to people. They always ask, oh, why'd you choose Iowa? Now that I work here in Wisconsin, a lot of people are like, oh, you go to school in Iowa. Why did you choose that? And I always say, oh, I'm in the marching band. I'm a member of the marching band. I think that's what some people tend to forget is that, the drum major and the Golden Girl, even though it's just their individual, just soloist positions, we're still members of the marching band.
So did you get
and we're with the group overall. So I don't, I like to talk to the band. I like to hang out at the section gatherings that we have together. A lot of my best friends are in the band. So
that's good to hear, because when I was in college, I lived with a bunch of marching band guys, and they did not like the drum major. They're like, oh, he thinks he's all that. He thinks he's all that. He's better than us. Oh yeah, it was.
Oh no.
So I'm glad that's turned around. I am glad now that you guys all get along. That's very nice.
Yeah. Well, just because I know the position of the Golden Girl is something that I've had to work really hard for. But band members work hard to be in the band and to continue being a member of the band too. It's not just the Golden Girl and drum major that works hard. It's the whole, HMB. Everybody works hard. Everybody has earned and deserves the position that they have. So, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of that mentality that, we're better than them. I like to think we're all on a pretty equal playing field.
Well, that's nice. That's great. No, that's good. That's good. Because, the marching band, you have to learn to play the instrument well because you're at a Big Ten university. And
right.
People don't realize the work that goes into getting the formations perfect. Because of that practice I watched, I saw a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of yelling from Kevin, but he was letting people know where they were sloughing off or where they needed to improve, and a lot of practice.
Work.
Yeah.
I think everybody realizes that.
So your summer is coming to a close. Did you get to enjoy it, or was it all practicing for this big tournament that you were in last weekend?
I'll be completely honest. It was a lot of practicing. My team had practice every day from 10 to 2, except for occasional Saturdays and Sundays, and even then, sometimes we would practice on the weekends too. And then, being a soloist, you practice for a couple, extra 2 to 4 hours every day. So it was a lot of practice, and I had a job too, so it was mainly just practice and work a lot. But it was nice to see some hometown friends. I still got to hang out with them a little bit. Got to see some Iowa City friends during the summer too, so that was really exciting. And I even made a trip back to Iowa City for a little band hype video that we made. So even though it was a busy summer for me, I definitely had a lot of fun, although I can't wait to be back in Iowa City for the season. I really can't wait for band camp and just the entire football season. It's probably was my favorite part of freshman year, so it's probably going to be my favorite part of sophomore year too.
Now you've intrigued me, band hype videos. Is that something that's going to be made public, or is that something you just did for yourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think it will be coming out soon. I'm not quite sure on all the details of that, but there was a bit of a band hype video made. You know how the football team has a bit of a hype video? We did make one too. And it'll I think it's supposed to show right before we take the field.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be really exciting.
It'll be sort of like the Fight for Iowa one they did with okay, I see exactly what you're talking about now.
Right. Just kind of, bring up the intensity level a little bit more and get everybody hyped for the band performance.
Oh, that'll be cool.
I can't wait to see it. None of us have seen it yet, so I can't wait to see it.
That'll be nice. That'll be really good.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
From the last time I talked to you, I don't remember if you had made up your mind yet. Do you have a major yet?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay.
So I'm majoring in therapeutic recreation. I want to be a child life specialist. It's like therapy work for kids in hospitals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Were you inspired?
And it was really exciting. Oh, sorry. You go.
I was just going to ask if you were maybe inspired by the Wave, and all the work that happened last season with that.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was literally just going to talk about. I was inspired by the Wave. That was it was the first year they ever did that. It was an incredible tradition. Actually, at Nationals, right before I did one of my collegiate solos on collegiate night, they were listing off fun facts about our university, and I asked if they could talk about the wave briefly, and I kind of started a little bit of the wave to the crowd, and then some of the crowd actually waved back at me, so that was really cool. But also kind of what inspired my major was this past year, we had that wave tradition going on after the first quarter ended, but then also during the third quarter, a lot of people don't know this, but the drum major and I actually had the opportunity to go up into the hospital for the entire third quarter and hang out with the kids on that 12th floor. So I kind of got to see some of what a child life specialist does because they're the ones that organize that, and a lot of people don't see everything that they do because it's a lot of, behind-the-scene work, really focusing on the kiddos and not the child life specialists themselves. But I got to see a lot of them work with the kids, and I personally got to work with the kids on that 12th floor, so that's kind of what inspired me to want to be a child life specialist. I'm really excited for it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Nice. So since you haven't worked with the band yet, you don't know what you're doing for the Pat Green halftime show, where they're playing the Wave live, the song that they played.
Yeah. Well, the band does know about it because Dr. Bush did send out an email, right before it kind of went, live on social media. People were posting about it. So everyone in the band knows, but we don't know necessarily what we're doing for that yet. I'm sure we'll find out as soon as band camp begins. He'll probably start talking about it already, but I can't wait for that show. I think it's going to be something really unique.
Yeah, we had Dr. Bush on a couple of days ago, and he said that they've got to, you got to coordinate with the Northern Iowa band, and that they're working on how they're going to do it. I just didn't know if you would, what you would do probably during that, but I guess you'll find out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, since the Northern Iowa band is doing something too, they have a new feature twirler too, and I actually know who it is. I know her really well because she goes to a baton twirling studio in Iowa City. So maybe I'll be able to coordinate something with her and kind of make almost like a bit of a duet. I think that would be something that would be really neat too.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens.
We'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, Kylene. Well, thank you very much for letting us talk to you today. I appreciate it, and I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing today. I'm sure it was more important than this show.
Well, no, not really. Just heading off to work. This was really fun, Tommy. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we might have you on again before the season starts when you have more of an idea of what's going on. We'll have you. Dr. Bush says he wants to come in the studio sometime. We can have the two of you come in maybe, and we'll just do a fun segment.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right, well, thank you, Kylene.
Yep, thank you.
Have
Bye,
a good
Tommy.
Day. Bye. Kylene Spanbauer, she is the University of Iowa Hawkeye Golden Girl. You can see her at Kinnick Stadium this fall. We'll be back with more Hey Lang right here on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. If you want great food, great beer, and great specials every day of the week, you need Sam's Pizza. How about half-price build-your-own pizza every Tuesday? How about trivia time with great prizes every Thursday? How about great pizza, burger, wing, and drink specials